afternoon and welcome to the October 2019 Park and Rec Commission meeting. We've got a room full of visitors here. Welcome to everybody. And we will go ahead with the approval of the agenda. Everyone should have gotten a copy of that. Any comment or a motion?
Make a motion to approve.
Second.
All right, motion to approve and second to approve the agenda. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right. Next, approval of minutes. Everyone read through the minutes from last meeting, which was September 9th. I'm sorry.
I'll move adoption.
Okay.
Second.
All right. Any discussion? A move and a second to approve the minutes from last time. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right. Next, the Park and Recreation Department activity report. Let's see here. Is there anything you'd like to comment on that, on Director Schmitz?
Chair Vorwerk and members, we have nothing addition to add to the published activity report from the month of September. So
Okay.
I recommend that you review that and order it filed.
I do have one question for the Park and Rec Director. Just curious, the boiler replacement, 60%, they're giving us a timeline? Like it's going to be ready for winter?
Yes,
All right.
yes, Chair Vorwerk, Councilor Christian and members. The boiler replacement project at the Recreation Center is continuing, and we anticipate that to be completed in the next month or so.
All right, any other questions for Director Schmitz? Otherwise, we will file that and move on to City Council recap. Director Schmitz?
Thank you, Chair Vorwerk and Commissioners. We had two City Council meetings since our last Commission meeting. On September 17th, the City Council declared items surplus that were no longer needed by the department. They also accepted the donations that you recommended they accept, and they adopted a resolution of support for further Minnesota River State Trail planning with the DNR and MnDOT. And then they also adopted the 2020 preliminary budget. And then the October 1st City Council meeting had nothing specific to Park and Rec. So that's action related to us over the past month from the City Council.
All right, any questions? Otherwise, we will move on to old business, the Renew update. Director Schmitz.
Yes, thank you, Chair Vorwerk and members. Work continues with our Renew projects. I'll start with Johnson Park. Construction continues, and the prime contractor, Webb Construction, is still anticipating completion this year. You know, we've had some weather challenges from time to time, but they were out there at full force early this morning, and hopefully the weather stays conducive for the rest of the this autumn. So that's full speed ahead and planned to be completed by the end of the year and well in time for the double state tournaments coming the last 3 weekends of summer next year. The next project I'll talk about is Herman Heights. Herman Heights Park design continues with the consultant Bolton and Mink. That's the relocation of Monument Street and the installation of parking infrastructure. The plan for 2 parking lots and a safer intersection between Monument Street and Center Street. So that'll come before the Park Commission and the Renew Oversight Committee and onto the City Council over the course of the winter, you know, to approve those plans and authorize bidding, and then the council will decide whether they want to, construct that project next summer. I'm certain we'll see what happens at bid opening late winter. You know, we've got. Hopefully it comes in under $1 million, but the cost of construction seems to be rising on a daily basis. So that's those 2 projects. And then the 4 projects at the Recreation Center, including the aquatics improvement, the indoor playground, the co-located wellness fitness center, and the gymnastics center. There's been a number of individuals and working with the consultants, JLG Architects, and their engineering team and the construction management team We've been working through concepts and are moving closer towards, preparing for construction documents in the not-too-distant future. We will be hosting a public input open house in the next few weeks at the Recreation Center in regards to those projects. Very complex design and certainly a change to that campus. If you were there this week or last week, you saw the soil boring machine. We've got a subcontractor, soil boring company coming in to bore holes and help us determine what the subsoils are like and how much money we have to put underground instead of above ground so that the improvements don't sink into the ground. It's all about making sure we can have appropriate foundations and footings based on soil conditions. And so with that, I think we certainly have some individuals in the crowd. This wasn't scheduled to be a public input session, but they're interested in speaking. So I think it's important that they have an opportunity to do so. I know they have a specific interest in the women's locker room and that portion of the building.
Yeah, so
First of all, my name is Carrie Hoffman.
would you be able to go up to the podium?
Carrie Hoffman. I live just out in Searles, but I go to the rec center 5-6 days a week to swim. We certainly appreciate you giving us this opportunity. I don't know, somebody got a hold of the plans and they kind of circulated around the locker room, and right away there was talk, and so we thought, well, we're not asking you to change the square footage, we're not asking you to change the layout, we just didn't think the concerns of the people that use the facility consistently were being met. We think as older people, we're the largest population that use it consistently for lap swimming. We think there's not enough showers, but I understand there's been maybe a little bit of wiggle room on that already. Seating is an issue. A lot of the people are older. They swim there because they can't do aerobics or they're doing rehab. They use those benches. They cut the bench number down from 6 or 7 to 2. There's up to 40 people that do aerobics on Tuesdays and Thursdays, I believe. They use those benches a lot. There's always a waiting line after aerobics for those women's showers, and if you're going to take away all the showers and leave us with only 3, there's going to be a lot more complaining than what you're probably hearing already. Another concern is the size of the lockers. I personally work in town, so I schedule my swim before I go to work. Get ready for work right at the locker room there. I keep everything there to get ready for work, come in my clothes, change into my suit, get ready for work after I'm done. So I appreciate having a larger locker. I understand they might be smaller. I also appreciate having the opportunity to lock my stuff in there so that I don't have to haul it back and forth every time, because I do live out of town. I don't want to have to haul my hair dryer, my makeup, my towels and everything into town. From what I understand, I counted, there's about 240 lockers in there, 25% are leased. I don't know whether the people that lease use them frequently. Sometimes it doesn't look like they do. There's dust in there, but they could be better policed, I think. I guess another concern that we have is we've brought these concerns up beforehand, and we've been given some rather terse answers. I'm not going to go into details, but we felt like we weren't being listened to, and that we really didn't have a voice in what was being done with the locker room. Well, we're taxpayers. I may not pay city tax to live in New Ulm, but I pay a hell of a lot of tax to buy my stuff in New Ulm. So with that, we're not here to raise a big ruckus and whatever, but if anybody else would like to bring up a concern that I haven't brought up, or tell me to talk about one. Oh, no, they're all pretty quiet. Okay, Russ. Again, thank you. Like I said, we're not asking you to change the whole design, just reconsider the way the inside looks.
Thank you for your input.
We appreciate all you've done so far. We really do.
Name and address for the record,
Oh, my name
please.
is Russell Brown, 35 Woodland Drive, New Ulm, Minnesota. Is that enough?
Yep.
Thank you. My wife goes swimming every day. I can easily enjoy the bottom end of the pool at the deep end. I do not swim. And I do stay up in the shallower part when I go, but and I have proven that I can sink to the bottom. I've done it. Okay, that being said, we like all what you've been doing so far. That's great. But think about it for a minute. I was told the locker is going to be 2 feet high. There'll be 3 lockers in a row where now there's 2. Each one is 3 foot. The lockers will be 2 feet high. You take a 2-foot square, this tall, well, this tall, this wide, put in your winter coat, your winter cap, your winter boots, whatever else you might put, along with your clean clothes, your towel. Not going to happen. I don't care who you are. And to tell me that, well, I don't use the locker room is not an answer either. The locker room is there, and it's for the kids that are coming to use it. We're going to have this big water park, right? Beautiful water park. And I hope we get a lot of children there. I really do. I hope we get more activity down at the park and rec. I love that place. And to me, to build it half, and not building the whole thing is ridiculous. We need to look at it all, lay out that design, and make sure we're covering the bases. I am sure that Joe Herbeck would have not agreed with this locker idea. I know he wouldn't have. I know that the original plan had 14 roofs. Tom, look that up. 14 roofs. I know for sure 12. We'll back off 14. We'll say 12. Because of the businessmen in town who heard about it, got concerned, that was changed to 6. The roofing costs are quite a bit higher because of the 6 roofs. If we only had 1 or 2 roofs, it'd been a lot cheaper. But it at least got changed down to the number we have now. And that was because of citizen input. And that's very important. So I was going to ask how many of you have used the lockers. And then go down, I know Bob has been in there, I've seen him in there. But go down and look at the lockers. Look at the locker room now. Look at the benches. And cut that down. Tom, how many feet are going to be in the room now once they cut it down?
The design is still in process. We have not completed the design, so there's many, many details that are not complete, including those.
And the drawings you have right now, how big is the locker room?
I don't have those with me today. That information is still being worked on.
Are you on the board? Are you on the group that are looking on these plans? How often do you look at them?
They're still in the process. The design is not
I
complete.
realize that's why we're here.
We're still working on the design.
That's why we're here. They're still in the process.
Yes.
And we need to be a part of that process. But look at that area. Right now, I can tell you the room is at least 20 feet, might be 25 feet long, locker room. And according to the pictures that we saw, it's going to be 1/3 of that. Now you bring in all the kids for the water park, you bring in the families, and you shove them into that little space and tell me it's going to work. It isn't. The plan has got some faults, and I'm glad you agree, and I'm glad you're still looking at it. But we need to change that section of it. At one time, I would have really loved to have a track going around the building. It's not going to happen. I realize that, the walking track.
We have financial limitations
I
with the
realize
project.
that. I realize that. That's why I said that's not going to happen.
Okay.
But,
So-
all right, I've taken up enough. Please come up. What else? Have I forgotten anything? Oh, good. Thank you.
I'm Kathy Troutmiller, 325 South Front. I have concerns about the pool area itself with seating for families when their children have swimming lessons. Right now, it doesn't show any bleachers or seating area, and that's a concern I have. Because when my grandchildren have swimming lessons, those bleachers are full. And also the locker rooms too, when kids have swimming lessons and then there's an overlap, they are full. And there's parents that are sitting on the benches helping their younger children get dressed. So that's some of my concerns.
Thank you. So, all these concerns are very valid, and so we'd ask that they be put in writing, brought forth to the group, and attend our open house, which hasn't been totally planned yet, but we'll be out there and we will contact everyone.
One question, at the open house, will it be too late to make any changes?
Not necessarily. No.
No, no.
Okay, that was-
So-
A lot of this could have been prevented, I think, if they'd have been a little bit more open beforehand. Now they're trying to put the fire out after it's started. That's all I'm gonna say.
Could we get a picture of the new design down at the pool along with the amphitheater picture? Drawing? That would be very important, where everybody can see what's going on.
We'll be certainly presenting all of the concepts and the design material in the very near future.
Before it's too late.
It'll be a public input open house
When is that going to be?
in the next few weeks.
Because I was told that it was going to be final on the 24th. And come before the board beginning of November. That
I-
was the information that was given to me. So 24th, if you're not bringing it to anybody before the 24th and it's final on the 24th, then is it any, do you really?
We're not to the point of a final, no.
Do you know when that will be?
I don't know when the next renew meeting is.
It's not been scheduled
No.
yet. We need to speak into the microphone if we're going to have speakers.
Okay.
Okay, my name is Jean Anderson. I've been a swimmer and a member down there since they opened in 1979. I love that facility. I've been in a lot of pools, and it meets our needs. Why do we have to mess with something that is so good? Okay, so I did see the plan from Cheryl. There's a 6-lane lap pool. The depth goes from 3 feet to 7 feet. That makes no sense whatsoever. That's where the swim meets are going to be held. You don't dive into 3 feet of water. Who designed this?
So we appreciate all comments. I think specific design things we need to talk to outside of this meeting.
Okay, so
right
you
now.
don't want that. Well,
I-
okay, so I guess I'll sit down then. I've got a lot of questions.
Mr.
I'm gonna
Chairman,
I'm gonna make a comment. If a lot of the questions, I would definitely go to that open house. And I'm gonna back Director Schmitz on that. Nothing is finalized with this blueprint. Yeah, I've looked at the blueprint, looked at the schematic drawings. Nothing is final. It hasn't come to city council to authorize it, go out for bids or whatnot. So don't think that you got slam dunked and nobody listened to you. Nothing is finalized.
Okay, but the only, I got the mic. I don't mind saying what I think. I'm really glad that I'm Russ Brown again. I'm really glad that it has been finalized. But what I keep asking and what nobody will tell me, but what I keep hearing, is that by December 1st, you have to have the decision done. Much time do we have for renewal?
There's no deadline.
So it can go into
Project.
next year.
Yes.
So if we don't finalize the plan until next June or July, it's okay.
Entirely up to the city council to authorize moving forward.
Okay,
That decision is made by our 5 councilors.
yeah, I'll be there. Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right, thank you, everybody.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes.
is there a formal process for public input
Ye-
for that project?
Yes, public input is encouraged at all times in writing through our office, the Administrative Office of Park and Rec. And like I say, we'll be hosting an input open house in the near future.
Is the Renew Oversight Committee going to be in session at that public forum, or?
The Oversight Committee will be reviewing the plans once we kind of have them put together, and then reviewing them and recommending whether or not they want to forward those onto the city council. The staff takes input and works with the consultants, and then we prepare that for the Oversight Committee, and then the Oversight Committee moves it on to council. That's the process.
So this open house, what will be the format?
It'll be an informal come and go, take a look at the
In your
sketches
in
we
your
have.
office,
No,
or-
it'll be either it'll be in one of our meeting rooms, either at the recreation center, if there's no fitness classes that are taking precedence, or the community center or the civic center meeting rooms.
And so how will input be collected during that meeting?
People will be encouraged to do so in writing.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
All right, thank you, everyone. All right, moving on to new business. Consider comprehensive plan trail alignment change. Director Schmitz?
Thank you, Chair Vorwerk and members. We have before us a request from Scott Dreckman to vacate a trail easement on the north side of town on land bound by Carl Drive, North Highland Avenue, and North Garden Street. Staff has reviewed the request. You have all the information in the packet here. And staff has no significant concerns with Mr. Dreckman's request. The comprehensive plan depicts a proposed trail in this area. And the trail easement and the proposed trail goes right through the middle of the land. And you have in the packet information related to that. I will show you exactly what page it's on. I think the first page to look at in the packet would be page 9 of 12. Okay, if you can bring up page 9 of 12, you have an aerial view, which is up on the screen here also. Highway 14, the underpass, the trail underpass that many people refer to as the Cashwise grocery store underpass. And then the proposed alignment continues towards Dreckman's property. And I'm going to step up to the podium here and further point this out. So just to review, this is the underpass, the trail underpass down by Cashwise. And the comprehensive plan shows a possible trail alignment going here, hooking up to Carl Drive. And this is the Dreckman parcel, this whole area here, bound by Carl Drive, North Highland Avenue, and North Garden Street. And the trail easement goes right through, kind of bisects the Dreckman's property. And he has requested to vacate that, and staff sees no reason why we would want to put a trail through the center of this parcel as it has further developed over the decades. And so I'm recommending that you agree with that and forward on to the city council. It'll actually go through Planning and Zoning Commission. It'll be a comprehensive plan change. And we're also recommending that we discuss the possibility of a trail easement with Mr. Dreckman along Carl Drive and North Garden Street, near the right-of-way or in the right-of-way or close to the right-of-way. As you know, on North Highland Avenue, we do have a trail, an existing trail on, we'll call it the west side of North Highland Avenue. And we probably will not be wanting to install a trail on the east side of North Highland Avenue. So that's the request. Is to vacate this trail easement here and enter into conversations with Mr. Dreckman about the dimensions of the right-of-way and a potential trail alignment on North Garden and Carl that would feed the existing trail on Highland. And I think we all realize that in the future, North Highland's going to continue across North Garden Street to hook up to Boundary Street, and then eventually at 23rd North, North Broadway. So that's a little background. I don't know if you have any questions for me, or I see Mr. Dreckman is here in the audience.
I'm sorry.
Just a comment I want to make, in talking with the Community Development Director Department, they didn't have any issue with this all. So I don't know if Mr. Dreckman wants to speak on the matter, or,
I just had a quick question. Was the original easement because we didn't plan on doing the Highland one and that was like a later plan, or?
Well, the comprehensive plan was finalized in '07, quite some time ago, and that land hadn't been developed back then. So we just knew we wanted to have public access, bicycle, pedestrian trail on the north side of town. And now as that private land has developed, staff sees no reason to run a trail through that parcel of property.
Scott Dreckman, address there is 2119 North Garden Street. Really, Tom, you covered everything I requested, I guess, as far as proposing to vacate that. So I have really no other questions for any one of you.
I'll motion to recommend the city council vacate the trail easement as requested by Scott Dreckman on land bound by Carl Drive and North Highland Avenue and North Garden Street in exchange for a trail easement along the near three-mentioned street right-of-ways.
I second.
Okay, there's been a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right, motion carries. Thank you.
Excuse me.
Next order is donations.
Thank you, Chair Vorwerk and Commissioners. I'd like to read into the record a number of donations that have been offered to the city over the past month, and I'll start with a bunch here for the German Park Outdoor Performing Arts Center Amphitheater, and the biggest one over the past month is a $200,000 matching pledge from an anonymous donor. Secondly, $1,000 cash honoring Dr. Ann Vogel from Joel Greenwald, St. Louis Park, Minnesota. $200 cash from Leo Gugesberg, New Ulm. $100 cash from Marianne Kultz, New Ulm. $100 cash from Margaret Oswald, New Ulm. And $50 cash from Kathy Kultz, New Ulm. The second group is for dog park, continued dog park improvements, $425 cash from the Happy Tales Dog Park Group, $84 cash from Happy Joe's Restaurant, and $110.86 cash from Pizza Ranch Restaurant. So the grand total is $2,069.86 in cash and $200,000 in a matching pledge for a grand total of $202,069.86. I recommend that you forward that on to the City Council for their acceptance.
All right, thank you, Director Schmitz.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
All right, there's been a motion and a second to accept the donations as listed. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right, motion carries. Thank you. And now, staff reports.
Thank you, Chair Vorwerk and Commissioners. I have nothing to add other than that what is printed in the packet there under our projects, programs, and partnerships. A number of projects have been completed. Many are still in progress with purchase orders issued. And the final group is still in concept phases and future planning possibilities. So staff has nothing else to add at this time.
Great. Thank you, Director Schmitz. Next is Commissioner reports. Does anybody have anything? Here. Oh,
Mr. Chairman, I just wanted to point out that I was not present on September 9th.
oh, so we got to do something to amend that?
I'll make the amendment.
Okay.
Fix the minutes.
Okay. Thank you. Anybody else have anything? Otherwise, our date of our next meeting is kind of in limbo. It's supposed to be on Veterans Day. So we should probably pick a different week. I think several people thought the 4th would be good. How's that for everybody? Okay. So we just can say it's going to be November 4th, or do we got to vote on it?
It wouldn't hurt to vote on that.
Okay. So do we have to have a motion to have the meeting November 4th?
Yes.
Okay.
I move that we have the meeting November 4th.
Second.
All right. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right. And that concluding our business, we will declare the meeting adjourned. Thank you.
Thank you.